U.S. border officials bracing for the end of Title 42.
The Trump-era pandemic policy is set to expire next week, but already a high number of unauthorized migrants have been making their way across the border. Title 42 had been used to quickly turn away thousands of migrants. A federal judge struck it down earlier this year, but 19 Republican-led states are fighting in court to delay that repeal. We want to bring in now CBS News' Lilia Luciano, who is in El Paso, Texas. Lilia, tell us what you're seeing and hearing from these migrants at the border.
Well, Lana, Errol, as you can imagine, the journeys that people have been through are really difficult to hear. I, for instance, yesterday had the opportunity to spend some time with a family from Nicaragua. They left political persecution, extreme poverty. It was just a mom and a dad and their 13-year-old daughter. When they made it through several borders of several countries and finally got to Mexico, they bought a bus ticket. They were telling me, look, you know, this was just a ticket to take us close to the border where we were hoping to come here to the U.S. and ask for asylum. Instead of the bus taking them north to the freedom that they hope, it took them right into the hands of kidnappers. They are part of a group of hundreds, if not possibly even thousands of people who have been held in different parts of Mexico by cartel members who are extorting them, asking them for money, more money than what they're already paying either on the journey or to other smugglers. The 13-year-old girl was telling me she was frightened. The father, powerless, impotent, feeling like to protect their family. And when they got here, they were saying, you know, the experience going through the detention and processing until being released was extremely difficult as well. Conditions are crowded, freezing. They have to, you know, let go of their clothes. They're you know, they have to go take showers, and then, you know, they're sometimes out in the cold or on the floors. And then they get here, and fortunately this family was able to find space in a shelter. But there are many people who have no possibility of doing that. They are actually sleeping on the street or trying to, and the city is scrambling to try to find a safe place. This morning and last night, it was the degrees, it was like 20, 28 degrees. I was freezing just a few minutes outside. And that's only going to worsen, of course, as many more people from many more countries are allowed to go through processing and be released here into the U.S. to make their case for asylum, which again, of course, is something that's a right and that is legal to make your case for asylum if you're seeking these horrible security conditions in different countries. But yes, the pool of countries of people who are going to be allowed if Title 42 is lifted is only going to double or triple next week if that happens.
And Lilia, what's so remarkable to me is that these are the stories of the people arriving now. And as you mentioned, there's more on the way, but there's people already in the system who have had horrific experiences requesting asylum. So how are local authorities preparing for what's a seismic moment, the end of Title 42?
Well, here in El Paso alone, I talked to the city manager yesterday. He was telling me that at one point the city was incurring more than $9 million in debt from utilizing city resources to staff the shelters, to shelter people, to transport people to other places so that other cities can chip in basically and help get people to the places where they need to get to. And the people, you know, the people who are coming across, most of them, especially people from Nicaragua, they have sponsors and they have the funds. They are paying for their plane tickets, for their bus tickets. But, you know, the situation for a lot of other people who are going to come is still unknown. The Secretary of Homeland Security, Alejandro Mayorkas, came here to El Paso, met with officials, but he didn't explain much about what comes next, what kinds of conversations and negotiations need to happen with Mexico if Title 42 is lifted, to see, you know, what policies can be implemented and how can Mexico and the U.S. work together to house and to protect people fleeing these horrible conditions. DHS is bringing more staff, bringing more agents and officers to the ports of entry here from other parts, from other sectors that are not as busy. So we're just trying to get a sense, without much communication from the federal government, frankly, of exactly how the state of Texas and the whole border is preparing for what is expected to be a lot of people in need, a lot of people, you know, who've been through a great deal of trauma to come here and try to find that protection, not to mention the backlog that already exists in immigration courts with the scarcity of judges to see these people's cases and determine their future. And look, a lot of people go through all of that only under Title 42 to be expelled or deported back to their countries.
Yeah, it is such a serious situation for so many people. Lilia Luciano, thank you very much.
Thanks, Lilia.